I'm Dan Cohane. I'm pleased to welcome you to the 2008 NCAA men's and women's soccer rules changes. Beginning in 1990, NISOA has produced a rules changes video as preparation for the upcoming college season. This is just one more of the many NISOA resources available to members to reach high performance. Now I'd like to introduce Cliff McGrath, Secretary Rules Editor of the NCAA Men's and Women's Soccer Rules Committee, who will work with me to explain this year's rules changes. Welcome, Cliff.
Well, thank you, Dan. Well, it's a long ways up there. That's as high and as far away as I've ever seen a referee. I'd have to say it's a pleasure for me to have been part of each year's presentation. Both NISOA and the NCAA have benefited from this long relationship. The NCAA Soccer Rules Committee looks forward to continued cooperation. But before we begin with the changes, let me review two important points. First, our committee receives and welcomes many suggestions for rules changes each year. These come from schools, athletic departments, coaches, players, NISOA referees, and NISOA local chapters. I can assure you that we carefully consider every suggestion. And our rules are designed to support the educational and student athletic objectives of our member schools. The NCAA Rules Committee also represents the kind of game that is best suited to the college sports environment. And when you submit your changes, we hope that you'll carefully consider this context. Second, our committee provides the interpretation guidelines for and also answers any questions about the NCAA rules. However, as a matter of policy, we leave the procedures of the allowed field mechanics for NISOA. Our policy is not to specify the details, methods, and procedures of the allowed mechanics used in college games. By cooperating in these shared functions, the NCAA and NISOA together continue to provide well-managed games for our member schools.
Cliff refers to the fact that NISOA has its own rules interpretation program. This provides referee guidelines for the detailed procedures to follow in game mechanics. It also provides practical guidelines for the many discretionary judgments that come up during play. NISOA performs this function and sets these officiating guidelines and standards. Now, let's proceed with this year's rules changes.
While reading through the new rules book, you'll find there are two major format changes. The first change deals with the approved rulings. Previously, they were numbered from beginning to end, and last year's rule book had 206 approved rulings. Now, since ARs amplify the rule they follow, we use a numbering system that includes the rule number rather than simply a sequential ordering. For example, approved rulings to Rule 1, Section 9 starts with AR 1.9.1 and so on. And this pattern is now followed throughout the rules book. The second format revision repositions many of the old rules and incorporates them into rules addressing a similar topic. As an example, behavior issues that were formerly in Rule 1 were repositioned as part of Rule 12, where participant behavior is addressed. Our goal is to make the book easier to follow using clearer language. This also has allowed for inclusion of more examples of the correct referee actions being discussed. So be sure to read the rules book carefully this year. You'll quickly get the hang of the new format. The next major change concerns a rewrite of Rule 1.11, now called Displaced Crossbar Goalpost. It now reads, if any part of the goal becomes displaced during the game, play shall be suspended, and every effort shall be made to repair or replace the goal. If in the referee's opinion it cannot be repaired to its original condition within a reasonable period of time, the game shall be suspended. When the goal is repaired or replaced, the referee shall restart the game by dropping the ball where it was when play was suspended, or if the ball was inside the goal area, it shall be dropped at the nearest point outside the goal area. This rule replaces the former restart by indirect free kick for a team in possession at the stoppage, and obviously is a safety issue.